Hello, my name's Amy McLaughlin. I work in the Health and Wellness Division at OSSI, and today I'll be walking you through the Qlik data visualization tool, which you'll use to access, view, and download the results of the 2016-17 Health MPE assessment. Today, I'll briefly introduce the Health MPE assessment for those who may be viewing this demo and are unfamiliar with the assessment. Then I'll walk you through each of the 3 pages, or what Qlik calls sheets, within the application. The goal of this demo is to teach you, the LEA Assessment Coordinator or the LEA Data Manager, how to use this tool to view, sort, and download your assessment results. For some background on the Health MPE assessment, the District of Columbia's Healthy Schools Act of 2010 requires OSSI to collect and report student performance on Health MPE standards. To comply with this requirement, district students are tested annually in 5th grade, 8th grade, and high school during the year which the class, a health class is provided. The assessment window for all LEAs is April 3rd through June 16th, but your LEA has narrowed down a specific date or set of dates that fit your school's schedules. The Health MPE assessment is a computer-based test, and it's provided through a tool called Survey Gizmo. This is the assessment blueprint on the screen now. It was shared with LEA Health Assessment contacts last fall and is also available on the OSSI website. You're seeing grade 5 here, but the blueprint is the same for grade 8 and high school. In each of the 7 categories listed here, mental and emotional health, safety skills, etc., Survey Gizmo will randomly select 3 questions for the student to answer, and that makes a total of 21. Those categories listed here also correspond to the Health MPE standards. So each student's assessment results will be reported out as a % correct in each category, as well as a % correct for the overall assessment for each student. So Qlik is a new tool for the health assessment this year, and you might be familiar with it from other projects that you've worked on with OSSI in the past. Once your LEA's assessments have begun, assessment data will be imported directly from the platform Survey Gizmo into Qlik. This import will happen daily during the morning hours, so you'll be able to view completion status through Qlik in nearly real time. The student data in Qlik is pulled from the SLED database for all 5th and 8th grade students in your LEA, and for high school students, your LEA provided rosters for students who are enrolled in a health class. So that's where we're getting the student information. All of that was submitted to OSSI in mid-March, and the snapshot of 5th and 8th graders was taken in mid-March. The student data that's captured in Qlik will be considered a snapshot of student enrollment, which means we're not able to update the data within the assessment or within Qlik in the case of a student moving from school A to school B or from an LEA to another between the March snapshot and the start of the assessment. So next I'll walk you through the Qlik Health MPE assessment application, showing you how to navigate the interface to view completion rates, LEA and school level results, and student level results. Beginning the 2nd week in April, your LEA's data manager will be granted access to this app within Qlik. If you're not a data manager but you do already have access to Qlik, contact us and we can also provide you with access to this app. So to log in, your data manager will visit the URL at the top of this slide, and they'll log in using their SLED user credentials. After they log in, they'll see a sheet that looks something like this. You might have access to several different apps within Qlik, as I do here. You'll select the one called 2016-17 Health and Physical Education Assessment. So now I'll move over to the actual app and walk you through what this is going to look like. When you come to the app itself, you'll have 3 sheets, one for completion and participation rates, one for results summary. I'll walk you through each sheet in the Qlik app, and I'll demonstrate some tips and data filtering methods so that you can take this on and use it on your own. Please note that the data that you'll see in this demo does not reflect any real LEAs, schools, or students. Also note that I'm walking you through the Qlik tool from the OSSI state level view of the data, and that means I can access data from across multiple LEAs. Your dashboard will behave slightly differently in that you will only be able to view data and information from your own LEA, and you won't be able to toggle back and forth between LEAs like you might see me do in this demonstration. With that, I'll open up the first sheet, which shows completion and participation summary. So the first sheet will show you assessment completion rates. And by that we mean the percentage and the student count of students who have completed the assessment during the school year. So when you log in, you'll see data for your own LEA. So you'll see something like this. So I've not filtered down to any specific school within this LEA or any specific grade. So right now I'm seeing data from across the entire LEA. And this LEA just so happens to only include 5th and 8th grade levels. It has a good number of schools in it. And what you're seeing here is a summary of completion. So in this table, you'll be able to see how many students have completed the exam. They've logged into Survey Gizmo, answered all the questions, and submitted. You'll also see students who have not completed the exam. And when this goes live, it'll actually look a little bit different from what it looks like here. You will see students whose status is partial, meaning they've started the assessment and haven't finished it. So they've answered a few questions but not finished the entire assessment. They'll be listed as partial. And then some students will be listed, some information that you see here will be listed as not started. So there's complete, partial, and not started. So you'll have actually a different labels here in this table. In a moment, I'll show you another sheet. It's a couple sheets down from this one, which will show you down to the student level which students are included in these 10, for example. 10 students have not completed the assessment, and in a couple minutes I'll show you how to find out which students have not completed it. The bar chart over here to the right shows the same data as the table on the left, but broken down to the school level. So I can use this navigation tool here, just scroll down and see more. This breaks it down to the school level. And if I want, I can click on one school. You'll notice that the table here has updated. So at this school, which is, you can determine it by hovering to display the school name. This is 5th grade, school campus 6840, which is a test name. It would actually, in your case, show the real school name. So the table to the left is updated to reflect just that school and that grade. So 27 have completed at that school and 3 have not. The table on the bottom here shows the summary of participation in sexual health questions by grade. So in this table, you'll be able to determine the number of students and the percent of students whose parents have opted them out of participating in all sexual health questions in the assessment. Once the assessment has been taken, that's when that data will update. And again, that import will happen daily in the morning hours. So now I'll move on to the next sheet. I can do that in a couple of different ways. The first is here. This bar up top shows you the page that you're on, which is completion and participation summary. If you click on that, more options will be exposed for the other 2 sheets within this app. The other way to get to the next sheet is these arrow bars or arrow buttons at the top. So I'll click one of those to take us to the next sheet. As I move from sheet to sheet, you might notice that the filters I selected on a previous page, school name, for example, and LEA, which will not apply to you in your situation, have remained up top as I move from page to page. If you don't want them there, you can close them out by clicking the X. So on this page, You can view assessment results by LEA level, school level, grade level, topic area, school year, or any combination of those filters. So for example, I can filter these results to show me how fifth graders scored on the health assessment across all schools in my LEA. So to do that, I would select a year. Within this demo app, we only have 1 year available. When this goes live, and when you have access to this, you'll see 2 different years. So you can compare the data from this year's assessment to last year's assessment. So we'll select a year. I want to just look at this year in the test data here. I'm in the right LEA. And now I want to see how fifth graders did across all schools. So I won't select any specific school, but I will select fifth grade. And now the data in the table at the bottom here, as well as the data in the bar chart up top, have updated based on my filter selections. So as I scroll down through the table, you'll see that there are many schools listed only at the fifth grade level, and it gives me the overall, the aggregate score for fifth graders across each category. Now this table at the bottom is kind of small here. It's condensed down to not take up too much of the page. For easier viewing, you can click on this button here and expand the data table to full screen. That makes viewing it a little bit easier. From this view here, you can also adjust your filters. So let's say that fifth graders, which is what we're looking at now, this year we've introduced new nutrition curriculum. So we want to see how students did in nutrition this year. I'll select that here as a category, click check, and this table will update to show me only nutrition scores for fifth graders at these schools. So we'll close out. We're back on this page, but our filters have stayed. So if you want to see all of the categories again, just go to the top, X one out. And again, to use the filters here by filtering down to a school, that's an option for you as well. So if you just want to see how fifth graders did at this one school, you can narrow down the data to that level. At any point when you're on this sheet or the next, there's an export button here. What that button will do is export the data as it shows up in the table below. So this might be a bad example of what I'd want to export, but if we're looking across all schools and all categories, and you want to export this data to a CSV or Excel, that's where you would do it, the blue export button right here. So the final sheet in this application is student level participation. So this sheet gives you the data down to the student level around both participation, by which we mean complete versus incomplete, and results, and by that we mean % correct. The same filters are available on this page that were available on the previous sheets. And on this sheet, you can also sort the data in this table, so you can isolate the information that you're looking for. So for example, I've come here, say, to determine the completion rate for a single school, and I want to figure out who those students are within that school who still need to take the assessment. So I'm in my LEA. I want to see one specific school, and I'm switching around because I want to find one with good numbers here. Okay, so this school, it has one student who has not taken the assessment. Could be you have more than that when the real data comes in. And based on the filters I've selected, the table below again updates. I'll expand that. You can sort this table so that the partial or not started show up at the top and then complete down below. And so here I can see the student's first name, last name, USI, date of birth, and grade who have not completed the assessment. Now once the assessments have been completed and all the data is in, you'll also be able to see here scores at the student level for alcohol, tobacco, disease prevention, etc., across all the categories. Again, this data will be updated daily and in the morning hours, so you can come back and check completion status and also come in and check scores. Just as on the previous sheet, you're able to export the data here into Excel for further analysis. And again, while the data you see in this demo is not real data, the data that you see after during the assessment window when you have access to this app will reflect all 5th grade, 8th grade, and high school students in your LEA. At the high school level, again, they're enrolled in health class. The 5th and 8th grade student data was pulled from the SLED database in mid-March, and the high school level data was submitted by your LEA to OSSI in mid-March. So that takes us to the end of the step-by-step demonstration. If you have any other questions, need some technical assistance, or want to talk through steps leading up to the administration of the assessment, for any of those things, you can contact either call center or OSSI.schoolhealth. And our contact information is here. Again, I want to thank you for joining this demonstration and offer up any support as needed as you administer the assessment. And thank you for your continued partnership and hard work.